Okay.
All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one who cares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Thanks, Simon and Lindsay. Took a lot of courage to do that, but you did it. Hooray for you. Yeah. I thought I heard some special commendations coming your way. Terry knew a lot of people in a lot of places in different ways. And the family were wondering about the way that Terry's story could be done. And they have people offered to do many things, and some were recruited. But what we're to hear now is a collection of memories. And firstly from David Wise, who was a friend for 60 years. Rick Fabro, a professional person that knew Terry in a professional way. Bert Shaw, and retirement memories. And then Brian Glenfield, recognizing Terry's love of dogs, is going to be saying something from the view of a dog. And then we'll hear from David Mancini with some of the remembrances. So I've given the names now, but I hope when you folks come up here, identify yourself so we can put a face with the name. So David, we'll let you be first. Just move the things around here. This is to put out the fire. And there's some Kleenex over there, so take your time.
Okay, thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank all those people that sent messages to Terry. He was tremendously moved by them, so thank you. The foundation of our friendship, as we were young men inching towards maturity, was based on our boyhood adventures, like the Jim Croce song, Time in the Bottle. Each time we got together, we'd pour out a few memories, and these memories enriched and sustained and nourished our friendship. I first met Terry in the spring of 1952. Louis Saint Laurent was Prime Minister. Harry Truman was still President of the United States. 2 weeks ago, I served as a reference for Terry's passport renewal application, where they asked how long you've known the applicant, and I wrote 60 years in that space. It takes a long time to grow an old friend. Terry moved to Kamloops from Kelowna to a house just up the street from us, and I used to see him when he walked to and from school, this big gangling kid. I was surprised when I found out that we were in the same grade. In elementary school, he was always the biggest kid in the class. The neighborhood bully was a guy called Red. He was right out of a Walt Disney movie, red hair, freckles, and he took great delight in beating people up. And my size, being small, meant that I was safe from his attentions. But Terry, who was 3 years younger than Red, was probably bigger than Red, attracted Red's attention. And first time I really met Terry, Red had Terry down on the ground and was pounding on him. And Terry was crying. And I walked up to Red and I said, you know, Red, he's 3 years younger than you. And I think even bullies have a sense of honor, so he stopped doing it and walked away. And I went home with Terry. I walked home with him. And from that moment on, that was how our friendship started. He was involved in one other fight in the time I knew him. And these are strange stories because those who've known Terry, he's not a fighter. We used to gather at the Kamloops Central office, and they had these huge rolls of newsprint there, and wait for the papers to be ready. And this one kid decided he wanted to fight Terry, so he was egging him on and egging him on, and Terry realized he couldn't get out of it. He knew he was going to have to fight this kid. So he turned to me and he said, Dave, he's too small for me, you fight him. And those of you who worked with him professionally will recognize he was a good delegator. So we lived in this innocent world of dreams and imagination. Our primary inspiration for many of our activities was the Saturday matinee at the old Capitol Theater in Kamloops, which we went to every Saturday. And then we would try to recreate what we'd seen in the movies in either Terry's backyard or up in the hills south of Kamloops. I could give you hundreds of examples of this, but I'm just going to give you one. And this was a movie about Bomba the Jungle Boy. If any of you remember Bomba, he used to capture his prey by digging a pit and lining stakes in it, and then would catch the animals that way. And so when we watched this movie, it was very inspirational. We walked home and we started talking about, we should dig a pit. And there was an older kid in the neighborhood that had been bugging us. And so we had this plan to dig a pit, and rather than putting stakes in it, we filled it with water. And then we carefully covered it with thin twigs and clumps of grass. And then the neighborhood kid that was probably 4 or 5 years older than us, that used to give us a rough time, we started shouting at him and taunting him. And then we'd run and hide and wait to see what would happen. And no response. We kept doing this, and Terry's father arrived home from work. He used to work for Swiss Canadian suit, and is he walked into the yard, and he saw us hiding in the bush. He says, "Hi, boys," in his British accent, just as he fell up to his waist. He said, "Terry, into the house." And I didn't go back for a couple of days. He never stayed angry with Terry very long, so I knew I had a couple of days to let him get over it. But you know, he always had a twinkle in his eye, even when he was scolding Terry, as though he was thinking, "I wish I had done that." That was his age. The week before Terry died, I sent him the following email. "It's not quite 4 a.m. and I couldn't sleep here. So here I am at this amazing machine, thinking about you and wanting to thank you for the wonderful gift of friendship we've shared for the past 60 years. It's the most significant gift of my lifetime. I thank you for the magic of our boyhood. We didn't just go to the Saturday matinees, we became the Saturday matinees. I don't think other people saw the magic of your backyard. A fort made out of cardboard, sanctified by the blood we wrote our names with. A platform and a tree accessed by a rope ladder was a safe refuge where we could taunt the older boys of the neighborhood and escape punishment. It seems that we always had 1,000 things to talk about and dream about. Everything was an adventure, riding our bikes up the Scadan Flats to fish in Paul Creek with good old Bonnie Bluebell running beside us with her tongue hanging out in exhaustion. Our amazing cabin in the hills south of Kamloops, climbing Bridal Bell Falls on Pearson Creek, hunting with our bows and arrows in the hills. We were so tuned into the moment that everything that we did seemed imbued with some unexplained glittering power. And then later, our continued adventures as we grew up together as roommates for 5 years, while sometimes attending classes at UBC. Summers building the Squamish Pemberton Road, your first meeting with Kathy, and our stint as Private Eyes. There's been so much we've shared as we grew up together. Thank you. Terry replied, "Thanks for the memories. Yes, our friendship has a very special vibrancy. We are and always have been soul brothers. I never fail to treasure the specialness of it. The two of us rink rats at the Kamloops Chiefs game, hunting rabbits with our bows at Tuncle Lake, playing endless games at Canasta, you always beating me at that damn hockey game, playing marbles, free spirits, roaming the hills, fishing, rafting, camping at Paul Lake, climbing Dome Mountain in the middle of winter with our sleighs, trick-or-treating together, scout camp at Magna Bay, you waking up as the green man in your new soggy sleeping bag. Life for us was one big innocent adventure. Over the past 2 weeks, I've received many messages from friends and family expressing their condolences over the loss of my dear friend. But I don't feel as though I've lost a friend when he set so firmly into my heart. The comfort and joy of having a friend may be taken away, but not the comfort and joy of having had one. In important ways, we have lost what we had. But we must not only reflect upon losing Terry, but also appreciate the wonderful gift of his once being our friend.